Hi there, Bijou, Juju.
Hello.
How are you? We have a kind of an odd thing today. We visited two places when we were out and about, Bisbee, Arizona, and Tombstone, Arizona, and both of them were fantastic places, and I highly encourage you to go see both of them. What was unusual is that I thought we took lots and lots of video of both places, and it turned out that we had what, maybe two or three of each place, little short clips,
Yeah,
and most of everything else was just photographs, still photos.
it was horribly windy that day.
Well, yeah, it was horribly windy this last winter.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the desert wind does blow. In the desert, the wind blows only about 320 days out of the year. This year, I think it will be somewhere around 350. Anyway, we wound up with very few videos and just a few or a bunch of pictures. And so I put them together and what we thought we might do, and you can tell us in the comments if you like it or don't like it. But I threw all the snapshots together, and then we're just going to narrate the thing. And so the picture is going to hold a lot longer than it normally would. But if I don't do that, then this video is about 1 minute long, and that probably would make many of you happy because you only have to watch me for 1 minute. But it's only about 1 minute long, and that's a little too short. So we're going to do that now. If you come into Bisbee from, I guess that's the south, what you see first is this enormous hole in the ground. This shot doesn't really do it a lot of justice. The next shot will, but there's this ginormous hole in the ground. Bisbee was a gold, silver, copper mining town, and a byproduct of that was what's called Bisbee turquoise, which I understand is fairly rare, but I don't know that for sure because I don't have any. But anyway, there's this huge mine. Here's a better picture of the hole, and I do mean it is a
Very
large
deep.
hole. There's a lookout. You pull off the highway there, and you can see this
Truly.
gigantic hole that is there, and it talks all about the mining operations and all that kind of stuff.
We also drove down to the old part of Bisbee, which was a really cool place. The building, the architecture was so pretty, and all these cute little homes that people have renovated. I guess back in the 1960s, a bunch of hippies and the other counter culture came and set up their art studios and all that stuff. And then in the 1990s, then the coffee shops and places like that started popping up, and everybody has redone their old homes so that they look very historic. And the streets are tiny, so we didn't really get very many pictures because it was hard to, because they're all kind of built up on these mountains, kind of. And
Well, you can see the cars parked on the street there, and the place was crowded when we went through. There was hardly anywhere for us to park something as big as Rosie.
well, and that was the bigger area of the town that we have those pictures of too. As we went into the residential areas, it was just so cute.
It really was nice. I'd love to go back sometime and
Spend some time.
spend some time going around. I used to have a friend years ago who lived in Bisbee, but I was going through a hard time then, and so I really didn't get to look at it. I wished I had because it is a beautiful little town. If you ever get to go to Bisbee, it's worth it.
Back, I guess John Wayne helped this one guy develop it when Bisbee was going through a hard time between the mining and the counterculture and stuff, and he helped to help get it going like the looking like it did used to, and calling it the authentic Old West.
Then we went to Tombstone, Arizona. Now, I will say this Tombstone, I think, was a pretty touristy kind of place. I mean, the downtown there, of course, average people who live in Tombstone. But the Main Street Tombstone, this is pretty touristy. And yeah, it was cool to go there, but I wouldn't probably go back right away. So anyway, we went to Tombstone. Everybody knows Tombstone is the place where the OK Corral was, and here's a picture of Doc Holliday. They have lots of folks walking around, dressed up like cowboys and all that kind of stuff. This guy, uh, he's using a cowboy cell phone. I can tell. It's authentic, just like Wyatt Earp used. Um, and here's these guys walking around, and they do a show, but of course you have to pay for the show to go see it, and we didn't. But they do a shootout at the old K Corral kind of thing and all that kind of stuff. But it's a fun place to go if you want to do the one time thing.
And what I thought was cool was that right there, the street looks like it's pretty full, but there are parts where it looks deserted, and they're so windy that you actually did have
Dust devils.
yes, dust devils going around, and so you did almost feel like you were in a old western.
Yeah, the street is dirt, and there's stagecoaches going up and down and stuff, and like she said, the day we were there it was hot. Well, low 80s, I guess, but windy, and so the dust was blowing around and all that stuff. So anyway, it was kind of cool. The one place we did go to that was really cool, we ate lunch there, was Big Nose Kate's Saloon. Now, Tombstone in 1881 and 1882 practically burned to the ground, and two buildings were left. One was Big Nose Kate's Saloon, and the other was a pool hall building kind of thing that was just across the street. Anyway, we went in, had lunch there. It was a great lunch. I recommend the place. But the bar is the original bar, so Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday and all
the cowboys,
those kind of guys stood at that bar, and the floor is a kind of a parquet-looking floor, and it's the original floor, so they walked across it. And I usually am not impressed by things like that so much, but for some reason, this really impressed me. I thought, wow, that is really cool. So anyway, we ate there, and the last little thing is a video of Big Kate's Saloon just as we were sitting there enjoying our time in the saloon.
Beer and wine.
Here we are again. We are back. So anyway, sorry about the weird thing. I thought we had way more stuff. And those two places were, especially Bisbee, so cool that I wish we had more pictures to show. But we just didn't. It's one of those things. I think part of it is because we have a little camera that we bought, and I think you've seen some things, and you'll see more. Hoping to get dash cam kinds of stuff, and the camera basically sucks. And so a lot of stuff didn't come out, I don't think. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. Hopefully we'll be able to keep putting some stuff out. We've come up with a small disaster on Rosie, and there'll be more. There'll be more about that to come in the recent weeks. But anyway, we will be back as soon as we can get our act together. So thanks for watching, and have a wonderful day. What was that? Are you shooting them?
No.
How?
Gun.
What's a gun for?
Because it was a western. I don't know. Sorry, I wasn't aiming at you.
My wife is getting violent in her old age. I don't know.
Not hardly.
Bye.